Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, here to talk about Dinger Tuesday for April 23rd. We will talk about all things the promo itself last week and my picks, obviously, for this week. If you're not subscribed to this channel and you like the content, it would mean a lot if you subscribe. We are over 2.5K subscribers, and that is awesome. I'm thankful for that. You guys are strangers to me, and you take time out of your day to come watch my content. That's a blessing and something that I will promise I will never overlook even as we continue to grow. So Dinger Tuesday is a FanDuel promotion, and there are two versions. You either have the unlimited version or you have the limited version. Unlimited allows you to play any game, every game, and get $5 per home run in all the games tonight. Limited version only allows you to get a maximum of $5 back for up to $25. So you only get a refund for up to 5 home runs instead of the whole slate. So if you are on the limited version, I would play 2 to 3 games. If you're on the unlimited version, if you want to maximize value, play as many as you feel comfortable. This is my sheet that I do every week. The quick basis of this is I list the pitcher, their innings pitched, and home runs given up this year. I give you the Ballpark Pal projected home runs per game. Ballpark Pal is a device, a tool, a service online that you can pay for. I pay for it, and he allows me to share the information that is behind a paywall with you guys. He just projects how many home runs will be hit in the game and the percentage increase or decrease based on weather and all the park factors as from the typical home runs hit in the game to what we should see today. Then I give it a grade, A through F. A is I expect 4 to 5 home runs, B is 3 to 4, C is 2 to 3, all the way down to F, which is 0 to 1. And then I give you 2 picks. I try to give you a safer pick and maybe a bit of a value pick so that you can choose who you would rather tail. Again, if you want to use Ballpark Pal, if you want access to all of that data, you can sign up. I do not have a code yet, but hopefully someday he does affiliate links and that will be an option. Some general notes. Lineup changes do happen. My picks may not actually be correct based on how the lineups actually come out. If there's any changes, I'll go to Twitter. Last week, we had one go to Twitter. When Aaron Hicks didn't start for the Angels, I put in Mickey Moniak, and Mickey Moniak hit a home run, plus 700 cash. So it is important that you maybe check that out. If it's important that I add them to this video, let me know in the comments, and I can start adding the corrections to this video. I know not everyone uses Twitter. I don't DVig or line shop these. I try to find value in guys in parks, and I try to handicap this based on matchups. I know that a lot of people will do the EV route with this promo. That's totally fine, but that's not what you're getting with me. I have made money on this 3 years in a row, so I do trust myself. Objectives are kind of the same. I want to maximize free bets for you guys over the long term. So the more spots you can play with a higher Green Beans Go rating, an A, a B, or even a C, the better off you're going to be. So let's look at this year so far. I have not had any A-rated games. It's still cold. It's still windy. And so I have not felt comfortable saying we're going to get 4 to 5 home runs in any game yet. So that's why you see a 0 here. The B-rated games are returning an average of $4 in free bets a game, which I realize is not great. C-rated is 5, D-rated is 4, and F-rated is 3. What I want this to be at the end of the year is high to low. And right now we're pretty close. You know, these are all kind of similar. But I want to be in a spot where I'm rating the games accurately for the amount of home runs hit. And so far we're doing okay, but we do have a small sample size. So hopefully we can start to see that kind of go in a descending order as we move on. Last week we hit Chapman, Moniak, and Hae-Sung Kim. And all of those, again, were on the A team. It's still cold. It's still windy. So home runs are lower than what they have been. Now, if you followed every single pick I've made for the A team and converted your free bets on FanDuel at 75%, which is very possible. I have a video about how to do that on my channel if you want to watch that. You would be up $500 through 3 weeks. So that's pretty darn good. If you've tailed all the B team, I'm sorry. Okay, down $574 for a grand total of minus $76. But again, this should be the worst of it of the year. As we get into warmer months, we should see more home runs, and we should have better results. So tail all the A team today and watch the B team go crazy. That's just how it happens. Just make the picks you're comfortable with. Today's outlook is very black and white. There are good parks and bad parks, and not a lot of C-rated games, a lot of B, and a lot of D and F. So let's get into it. First game is Cleveland and Boston. And I like Yoshida here at 600 and Josh Naylor out of Principal at 520. I would favor lefties in this one. There is a rumor that Cleveland has opened up this barrier behind the batters in their stadium, and it's causing sort of a wind tunnel to blow out, and it favors the left-handed batters. Now, that's just what I heard. I don't know if that's accurate, but I have seen a lot of lefties hit home runs in this park so far this year. So I would look to a lefty in this one, although it is a C-rated game, not one I'm probably going to get to since I have the limited version. This game I would play with limited. We have the Phillies and the Reds, and the pitching is okay, and this one's actually pretty darn good, but I don't think it should hinder home runs too much. Alec Boehm at 450 is good, and Jonathan India, this is just kind of a due pick. I think he's due. He's a guy that typically leads off, and he has not hit but maybe one home run this year. So at 8-1 with these conditions, I really like Jonathan India tonight. And if I did target this game, which I probably will, I would probably lead my B team pick here with Jonathan India. Third game is Pittsburgh and Milwaukee is set to start a minor leaguer. First MLB start tonight. These are his minor league stats this year. 16 innings pitched, 2 home runs given up. The park conditions aren't great, and I would target Pittsburgh batters against this rookie, and I would go with Jack Suwinski and Brian Reynolds. However, since they haven't officially named him the starter, there are no lines up right now for this game. So keep your eye out. I would like to get these guys as close to 500 if possible. I'll tweet out my official plays, or I'll comment them on this video, so just stay tuned for that. But not a game I'm probably going to play anyway. If I did, though, I would target Pittsburgh bats against this minor leaguer. I think the Dodgers bats in this one are juiced. There's a lot of Dodgers guys that I don't mind, but their odds are really, really low. And obviously, that's to be expected with Patrick Corbin on the mound for Washington. And Washington is a fairly hitter-friendly park, and we know the Dodgers swing big. So Will Smith kind of let us down last week. I was high on him, and then he didn't even start. So we're going to go back to him this week. Will Smith at plus 400 and Hernandez at 320. Typically lower than I like to play. You know, I looked at Mookie Betts, but he's like 270 right now. So I mean, even Austin Pages, a guy that kind of just made a name for himself, has hit 1 or 2 home runs this year. He's like 370. So really juiced. I don't love it. A game that I don't mind playing, but I will probably stay away from. This game is solid on limited. It's in a dome, and you can see the pitching is not great. Maeda here for the Detroit Tigers has had a rough year in terms of giving up home runs. 17 innings pitched and 7 home runs allowed already. Ballpark Pals projecting 2 home runs in this game. I think we can get closer to 3 or 4. Palacio at 520 and Kerry Carpenter at 450 would be my picks, but again, I think there are some really good bats in this one, and I don't think you can go wrong in this spot. So I would say this is a solid game to play, especially since it is in a dome and the pitching isn't tremendous. I hate this game, the game in New York, but I love my picks for it, if that makes sense. I don't think you're going to get a high volume of home runs in this game, but I do think there is value in Verdugo at 830 and Rizzo at 600. So this is kind of a spot where if I have a free bet that I'm not going to try to convert, like if it's like a $5 or $7 free bet, I may throw it on Verdugo at 830 because it's a good payout and there's good value, and I can probably still squeeze some out of it. But it's not a game I'm going to put $25 on him because I don't think we're going to get more than 3 home runs. So that's kind of what I mean by hate the game, love the picks. Game in Atlanta should normally be good, but this one is not shaping up to be good. The weather's not great. It's a little chilly, and I think the wind is not helping. But Travis d'Arnaud is probably the best home run hitter of 2024. He's absolutely crushing it this year. Had a game with 3, I believe, last week. But a lot of these bats are too juiced for the conditions, so I'm going to go Tim Anderson, which I realize is a super long shot at 9-1. And I do think Travis d'Arnaud at 470 is a pretty generous price given what he's done this year. So it's actually probably one of the most generous lines on Atlanta, and it probably is the least deserving of a generous line. So again, it's C-rated, so not a game I'm getting to with limited, but if you are playing the unlimited, playing them all, these would be my picks. This game in Chicago is one we need to watch because while the wind is blowing out, which means awesome conditions for home runs, there is a chance of rain. So it may not actually be played, but Mike Tauchman at 870 is too good. It's flat out too good. It's flat out too generous. A lefty who hits power, and I don't know why he's sitting up that high. There's always a chance he's not in the lineup. I understand that. I also don't think he's hit one this year. But Mike Tauchman at 870 is too good to pass up. I will be playing that. Michael Busch has been on fire this year, and at 430 I think is very fair given these conditions. Again, a lot of bats in this one. It's actually Ballpark Pal's highest projected home runs hit. So naturally, it's going to rain and we aren't going to get this game. But if we do, I would definitely be all over this one. Game in Kansas City is a full-on avoid. Kansas City is a hard park to hit at. These are great pitchers. The weather's not great. It's a perfect storm for 1 to 2 home runs maximum. These would be my picks. I'm not even going to say them out loud. Game in Minnesota. I'm waiting for a price on Max Kepler because he would probably be my pick. And for some reason, he's projected in the lineup, but FanDuel has not listed him at all. Julian did hit a home run last night, and he's sitting at 6-1. He's probably had 4 to 5 this year, and I think those odds are pretty darn good. But again, not great conditions, not a game I'm going to play. But if I had to, these would be my picks. Game in St. Louis is much like the game in Kansas City, is much like the game in San Francisco that we will talk about in a second. It's not a good park, and it's bad conditions, so I would avoid this game at all costs. But Mason Wynn at 8-1 and Christian Walker at 4.5-1 would be my plays. But again, I'm not touching it because I have the limited version. This game is actually one of my favorites, and Ballpark Pal has it at 2.7, which is solid, but I think we could get closer to 4 just because of the power behind a lot of these bats. Nathaniel Lowe at 6-1 is a tremendous price, and Polanco at 4-1 is a tremendous price. There's a lot of people I like. J.P. Crawford was sitting at like 800. I was very tempted to go him. And Evan Carter is a guy that I hit Sunday night for the DraftKings promotion. He hit a home run. He was at like 750, and now he and FanDuel he's like 540. So I didn't love him at that price. I'd like to get him over 600, but that's why I'm going with Nathaniel Lowe here. So really good game, and a good game I will definitely be looking at with my limited version. Game in Colorado is also good, but I'm worried about Colorado bats. Not a ton of guys are hitting home runs consistently for this team, but I think that should change as the year goes on. Obviously, players will warm up and become more accustomed to everything as we get deeper into the season. Jake Cronenworth for the Padres at 520, I think is a good price. And Charlie Blackmon, who has been leading off for the Rockies, has power if he can just find his swing at 6-1, I think is good. A lot of good spots I like also in this one. So, everybody knows about Colorado and that park and those conditions. So optimistic for this, good spot, a game that would be totally playable on the limited version. This game, I know already that I'm going to be mad. I got to target Baltimore bats here against Griffin Canning, who has been surrendering a home run every 4 innings, okay? Ballpark Pal has a good projection. The wind, I believe, is blowing out. The Angel Stadium isn't the worst for home run hitters. Ryan O'Hearn at 430 and Cedric Mullins at 480 would be my official plays, but Colton Cowser at 560 is calling my name. He will definitely see some action from me. ESPN sometimes has a home run promotion on Tuesdays as well, and I will probably look to put some money on him there because I really like this spot for him. Started off the year pretty hot, has not hit one in a few weeks, I believe, but I like him at that price. So another game that's good on limited. And finally, the game that we don't need to talk about because you are not going to play it because it's not good value is the game in San Francisco. I expect a maximum of 2 home runs. These would be my picks if we played it. Here's my sheet. Full sheet, at least for the first half. And if I were you, if you have the limited version, I would look at my grade and I would say, where are the Bs, where are the Cs? And then I would look at players. Are there any prices that I like for these guys? That's how you're going to maximize your value. Looking at the second half of the slate, if you're on the unlimited version and you don't care about immediate money, you don't mind swings, and you just want to maximize value, I would look at A's, B's, C's, and potentially even D's, and I would just blindly play an A team or a B team and ride the wave. Okay, I'm optimistic that by the end of the year, if you do that, I know that the B team right now is down bad, but all it would take tonight is 2 B team guys to hit a home run and we'd be back to even, right? So it is volatile and it can change at the swing of a bat, no pun intended. So that's what I got for you today. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come by and check out these picks. I'll go back again to this page if you want to see it. My number 1 pick of the night is probably Mike Tauchman at 870, followed by Jonathan India at 800. I think those are 2 really good prices for guys who are very capable of home runs. Charlie Blackmon at 6-1 may come in at 3rd. We'll see what happens. I'm excited, as always, as I always am for Tuesdays. And that'll do it for us today. Again, if you like sports content in general, you don't mind listening to me talk, I do make videos besides Dinger Tuesday. So if you want to check some of those out, you can do so. We will see you next Tuesday, and good luck. And let me know in the comments who you're taking and if there's anything else you'd like to see. See you later.